Imagine scoring in the 93rd minute at the World Cup. Your team erupts. Your teammates pile on top of you. The stadium shakes. 66,000 people are on their feet. You've just sent your nation to the knockout stage for the first time in their history. And then, silence. A little screen goes up on the sideline. A referee walks to a monitor, and everything you just felt is taken away in the time it takes to blink. That is exactly what happened to Shoja Khalilzadeh and the entire nation of Iran on the 26th of June, 2026 at Seattle Stadium. And right now, the football world is divided about it. Was this the right call? Was VAR a hero or a villain in that moment? And is this just the latest chapter in one of the strangest, most emotional stories at this entire World Cup? Because here's what makes this different from any other VAR controversy you've seen. This wasn't just about a goal. This was about a country that has been fighting battles on and off the pitch from the very moment this tournament began. And somehow, in the 93rd minute against Egypt, they thought they had found something remarkable. We're going to walk through exactly what happened, why the decision was made, and what it means, not just for Iran, but for the bigger conversation around VAR at the 2026 World Cup. So, if you've been watching this tournament closely, stick around. This one is worth your time. If you're new here and you love football, make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss any of our World Cup coverage. We're covering every major story, every controversy, and every twist this tournament throws at us. Now, let's get into it. Group G, heading into the final match day, had all the ingredients of a thriller. Belgium at the top, Egypt just behind them, Iran fighting for their lives in third, and New Zealand already looking like they were heading home. Iran entered the Egypt game with 2 points from 2 draws. They drew 2-2 with New Zealand in their opener, then held a 10-man Belgium side to a goalless draw in Los Angeles, a result that had people around the world talking about how hard this Iranian team was working. But even before that, the Iran story at this World Cup had already become something much bigger than football. Portions of their coaching and administrative staff were denied visas to enter the United States. Their original training base in Tucson, Arizona, was taken away from them, forcing the entire squad to relocate to Tijuana in Mexico. They were required to travel across the border for every match, then leave immediately afterward. And perhaps most painful of all for supporters, the majority of Iranian fans were unable to travel to the United States to watch their team play in person due to travel restrictions that blocked most ordinary Iranian citizens from attending matches on American soil. They carried all of that into every single game they played. And against Belgium in particular, they did something that had football fans across the world on their feet. Mehdi Taremi, Iran's captain and most dangerous player, produced a brilliantly worked free kick goal that was almost an exact copy of Wout Weghorst's famous stoppage time strike against Argentina at the 2022 World Cup. The stadium in Los Angeles erupted. Iranian supporters were in tears, and then VAR stepped in. The review confirmed that 4 Iranian players were in offside positions when the kick was taken. Taremi himself was marginally over the line. The goal came down. Iran's World Cup had already been touched by VAR controversy once. Now, heading into the Egypt match, they needed something to go their way. If you're enjoying the breakdown so far, please hit that subscribe button right now. We cover every major moment of the 2026 World Cup in full detail, and there's plenty more to come as we head into the knockout stages. Seattle Stadium was electric on the night of the 26th of June. There were 66,925 fans inside the ground, and from the very first minute, the game had an energy you rarely see in a group stage finale. Egypt went ahead inside 5 minutes. A move involving Mohamed Salah ended with Mahmoud Saber latching onto a loose ball and slipping it through the legs of Iranian goalkeeper Alireza Baranvand. Iran were behind almost immediately, but they didn't panic. Within 10 minutes, Mehdi Taremi had won a penalty. He stepped up himself, fully aware of the weight of the moment, and Mustafa Shober dived the right way and saved it. a penalty stop from the Egyptian goalkeeper against one of Asia's best strikers at a World Cup. It was that kind of night.
But Iran kept going. In the 14th minute, Milad Mohammadi drove a shot that Choubier could only parry, and Ramin Rezayan was there on the rebound to smash the ball into the top corner from a near impossible angle. 1-1. And from that moment, both teams knew this match was on a knife edge. The game stayed level through a tense second half. Egypt's qualification was already confirmed, so the Pharaohs weren't desperate, but Iran were. Every minute that ticked by without a goal felt like a door closing for them. Taremi came close with a late header that came back off the crossbar. The ground was holding its breath. Then came the 93rd minute. A set piece. A scramble. The ball broke loose, and Shoja Khalilzadeh swept it home. The Iranian players sprinted to the corner flag. Khalilzadeh whipped off his shirt, earning himself a yellow card in the process, and the Iranian supporters inside Seattle Stadium were absolutely delirious. But before the celebrations had even properly begun, the Polish referee Szymon Marciniak was being called to the monitor. And when he walked back out to the pitch and disallowed the goal, the images of the Iranian players on the field were almost too painful to watch. Some were collapsed, some were crying. The joy had completely disappeared. So what actually happened? Let's walk through the decision carefully. Under the laws of the game, offside is judged at the exact moment a teammate plays or touches the ball, not when the final shot is taken. In the build-up to Khalilzadeh's strike, there was a flick-on earlier in the sequence. At that exact microsecond, according to the VAR review, there was a player in an offside position. That made the entire phase of play offside. The goal was corrupted at its origin, and so it had to come down. There's also a detail worth understanding about Khalilzadeh's own position. Because of where the Egyptian goalkeeper was standing, Khalilzadeh needed to be in front of two defenders to be onside. He was ahead of one, but VAR determined his foot was just behind the other. It was marginal, but marginal is still offside. Now, here's where the debate starts. Was it the right call technically? Most analysts reviewing the footage have said yes, it appeared to be offside, but the conversation doesn't end there. This was not the first time VAR had directly taken something away from Iran at this tournament. It was the second, and the semi-automated offside technology, which is designed to give these decisions more quickly and more accurately, has itself been under scrutiny at this very World Cup. Stay right there. We're just getting to the most important part of this, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please do it now. This channel covers World Cup stories in depth, and we're releasing new content every single day of the tournament. Earlier in the tournament, during the Switzerland versus Qatar match, FIFA's semi-automated offside system experienced what was officially described as a brief technical outage. The 3D graphic that normally appears on screen to show fans exactly why an offside decision has been made, that graphic did not appear. FIFA released their explanation more than 4 hours after the incident, which drew considerable criticism. Gary Neville, working as a pundit during the tournament, described FIFA's handling of the situation as resembling a dictatorship because of how long they withheld the visual evidence from the public. That incident has left a cloud hanging over VAR decisions at this World Cup. When Khalilzadeh's goal tamed down against Egypt, the immediate reaction from many fans watching at home was understandable skepticism. Had the system worked properly? Were they seeing the full picture? And given everything Iran had to go through just to be at this tournament, the travel restrictions, the visa issues, the relocation to Tijuana, the emotional response was intense. Social media lit up. Fans across Asia, the Middle East, and much of the football world expressed sympathy for Iran. Many noted that this was a team that had already been stripped of so much before a single ball was kicked, and now, in the most important moment of their tournament, the technology had taken something else away. Iran's own response on the pitch told the full story. After the disallowed goal, they still had time. Rezayan found himself a few yards out with a clear look at goal in the final minutes, but an Egyptian defender got across just in time to block the shot. From the resulting corner, Ezzatoli's header beat the goalkeeper and struck the crossbar. A crossbar.
It was that kind of night for Iran. When the final whistle blew, the scenes were heartbreaking. Players on the ground, tears on the pitch, an entire squad that had fought every step of the way through obstacles most football teams never have to think about, now facing the possibility that their World Cup was over.
At the time of recording, Iran finished third in Group G with 3 points from 3 draws. Belgium won the group with 5 points, and Egypt finished second on 5 points as well, only separated by goal difference, with Belgium's 5-1 win over New Zealand on the same night proving decisive. Iran are now among the candidates to advance as one of the 8 best third-place teams across all 12 groups. Whether they make it depends on results in other groups finishing later. The wait is agonizing. And this is what makes this entire story so layered, because even setting aside the circumstances surrounding Iran's participation, the football itself has been remarkable. 3 draws, an unbeaten record, a goalkeeper who has made some of the finest saves of the tournament, a captain in Taremi who has been involved in almost every dangerous moment his team has created, even when the goals have been taken away from him. Iran would become only the 3rd Asian nation to finish the group stage of a World Cup unbeaten, following Japan in 2002 and 2026 and South Korea in 2002. That is the company they are keeping, and it has been achieved under circumstances that no other team at this tournament has faced. If you're finding this story as compelling as we do, hit that subscribe button and leave us a comment below. Do you think Iran were treated fairly by VAR? Or do you think this is another example of technology failing football at the worst possible moment? Let us know. Now, stepping back from Iran specifically, the broader VAR conversation at the 2026 World Cup is not going away. Semi-automated offside technology was introduced partly to speed up decisions and remove human error from the process. In theory, it uses multiple cameras, player tracking data, and an artificial intelligence system to pinpoint the exact moment of contact and measure player positions with remarkable accuracy. When it works correctly, it is extraordinarily precise. The 3D visualizations that appear on broadcast screens are supposed to give fans and coaches immediate clarity on why a decision was made. But the system's credibility took a hit during the Switzerland-Qatar match, and the time it took to review the Iran sequences, both the Taremi goal and now the Khalilzadeh situation, has once again raised questions about transparency. When VAR takes a goal away, fans want to see exactly why. They want the graphic, they want the lines, they want to understand what the technology is telling them. And when that transparency is delayed, or when the system itself experiences outages, trust erodes. That is the challenge FIFA faces at a tournament of this scale. Hundreds of millions of people are watching, decisions happen in seconds, and the explanation needs to come just as fast. There are also genuine questions about where the line should be drawn on marginal offside calls. The law is clear. Any part of the body that can score a goal must be onside: a shoulder, a hip, a foot. But at what point does a margin become so small that the practical difference is meaningless? This is a debate that has been happening in football for years, and this World Cup has brought it back with renewed intensity. Some coaches and analysts have started calling for a tolerance threshold, a small buffer zone that would prevent goals from being disallowed by a centimeter or a fraction of a body part. FIFA has shown no indication of moving in that direction, but the pressure is building. What happens next for Iran is something the entire football world is watching closely. If the results go their way, they advance to the round of 32 as one of the best third-place finishers and write one of the most remarkable stories in the history of the World Cup. A team that faced extraordinary obstacles from before the tournament even began, denied by VAR twice during the group stage, still finding a way through. If the results don't go their way, this team will still be remembered. The dignity they showed throughout the tournament, the quality of their football, the resilience of their squad, it was all real. They left a note in their locker room after the Belgium match that read, "We came here with pride, competed with honor, and leave with dignity." That line was written before the Egypt game, before the 93rd minute, before the crossbar. Imagine what they must be feeling now.
For FIFA, the pressure to deliver clarity on VAR decisions is only going to grow as the tournament moves into its knockout stages. Every match now is elimination football. Every decision matters more. And if the semi-automated offside system fails to provide the instant transparency it promised, the criticism will become much louder. There is no easy answer to the VAR debate. Technology has made football fairer in many ways. Incorrect red cards reversed, clear penalties given that would have been missed, goals correctly awarded when a ball has crossed the line. But it has also introduced a kind of cold precision that sometimes feels at odds with the emotion of the game. When a goal is taken away by a fraction of a millimeter, there is always going to be a human reaction, because football is a human sport. And in Seattle, on the 26th of June, that human reaction told you everything. Players collapsed on the pitch, tears in the rain, a crossbar hit in the final seconds, a nation waiting to find out if their World Cup is over. If you've made it to this point, I genuinely want to know what you think. Was VAR right to disallow Khalilzadeh's goal? Or do you feel that, given the context of everything Iran has been through at this tournament, the sport owes them something better than a marginal offside in the 93rd minute?